In our classroom habitudes text, one of the questions is, what do I want most for my students to know and to be able to do? And obviously there's curriculum, but I do value grit, and I do value the fact that my students need to be courageous and goal-oriented, have endurance and resilience, be creative, and have high standards for themselves. And I think that we can pull these pieces into every lesson that we teach, or at least I can, and maybe I'm lucky that I teach music and I direct musicals and work with kids with theater, and they need to have these pieces and these components to be able to be successful. And teamwork is not on here, but that is another piece, that sense of ensemble, that sense of connection, they need to also have to be successful in my personal classroom. One of the questions in Habitudes was, how will I judge the success of my teaching based on these pieces? This is what I want them to be able to walk out and feel that they have mastered these skills, feel that they're comfortable and confident, and that they hold high standards to themselves, that they're creative, and these are the things that help them ultimately create success in their lives. I was having a conversation with a band director yesterday, and she talked about how she, quote unquote, how she tricked her band into liking a piece called Danny Boy, which is a very lyrical, slow jazz piece, and usually jazz musicians want to play fast and furious. And the students were working on Danny Boy as just a warm-up piece, and after they played a piece or two in the concert that were a little slower, they realized that they appreciated the piece and they wanted to play more of them. And she said she'd tricked her students into appreciating and to loving literature that is challenging and maybe sounds simple, but is very gratifying and very fulfilling and holds a high standard to musicianship. And so this quote made me think of her, and I was very proud of her that she was creative in her teaching to be able to connect with kids in this regard. Opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so most people don't recognize them. When we say it's going to be hard work and we approach it that way in our lessons, kids will put the brakes on right away. They'll resist right away a lot of times, and they won't want to work hard. But if they don't realize they're working hard and they're just really excited about the accomplishments, that can be more meaningful and more successful. These 7 pieces of our habitudes, these words that describe grit, are a component that will create passion in the classroom. And I forget a lot of times that I'm very passionate about what I do, but they may not walk in the room passionate and excited about learning what I have to teach. And so if I show, first of all, if I show them that I'm passionate about it, a lot of times they get on the boat with me and they are excited with me. If I'm positive and I deliver the content in a way that envelops discovery and excitement, most of the time they'll emulate that and they'll kind of follow through with me. If I walk into a classroom and I just kind of regurgitate content, then that's something that they'll just do back to me. They'll just regurgitate the content back to me. But if I hold a passion for what I'm teaching, I feel like that they'll mirror that. I'm very passionate about the fact that I need to help them with them prioritizing curiosity and perseverance and courage and adaptability. I'm very proud that my kids that I teach and that I work with are very adaptable. That is life. Life is ever changing. We should actually celebrate that. Life is ever changing because that's when we learn. When they get to a point in their learning where they're uncomfortable or they make mistakes, that's where they're learning. And so if they can be excited about being in an environment that pushes them so far to the point where their discovery is making mistakes and their discovery is being adaptable, I think that that will help them have a positive outlook on learning in general. the words in our habitudes, the words that we use with our students may have long-lasting impacts on the way that we think about on the way that they think of themselves, about their teachers, and about their school in general is absolutely true. We need to show our kids a positive attitude and model excitement and passion, and show them that the way we talk about things is really a reflection about how we can create an environment of learning and positiveness around us in our environment. I think it's important to model all of these pieces and not forget that we all have great qualities, and we all have qualities that need some attention and need some growth. And I think if we can share that with our kids, modeling that ourselves with our students will make our environment, our learning environment, more productive and more positive and more impactful. I think this quote says a lot. Successful people are not gifted. They just work harder than succeed on purpose. I think that so many people think that that geniuses are just born, and that just hard work won't get you where you want to be. And I think that we need to send a message to our students that they can do anything, and that if they're motivated and they have the right resources, they will create success in their life on purpose.